Yo, what is good, YouTube? I'm just gonna make a very quick and easy short video on how to make a Venge.io mod. I'm not gonna edit this video because I'm too lazy, and just follow along, pause if you need to. Like I said, hopefully it won't be too long. Um, I'm just gonna go over the textures in this video. Not gonna go over like putting any code in or anything. It's just gonna be replacing textures and that kind of thing. So it's gonna be really actually very easy. We're gonna go to the vanilla game first. So this is what the game looks like without any mods or any code or anything like that. Change like textures or exposure, that kind of thing. So everything looks normal. We're gonna probably replace these textures here for the wall just to show you how to do it the first time. Um, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Once you get the hang of it, you can replace everything, and I can go over some of the things you need to know for like special textures and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna exit the game. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is open up File Explorer, and then go to your Documents folder. So make sure this is your local Documents folder. This is very important, so pay attention. This is your local Documents folder, not your OneDrive. Don't go to OneDrive. If you're going to OneDrive, it will not work. Your game will not recognize it. So make sure you go back to your your local disk. So I'll go over here. So click on local disk, then go to users, then whatever you're called, and then to documents, not OneDrive. Go to documents, and then this, see how there's no OneDrive in the path now? Now you're on the local documents folder. Make sure you're there. When you're there, then you need to create a folder called Venge Client. So it's going to need to be named exactly like this. Make sure that anytime you name a file in this video, if you're following along, that it's always named exactly like I have it in the video. Otherwise, the game, like I said, will not recognize it. So make a folder called this, then go into it and create a new folder called Resource Swapper. We don't need to worry about these folders. You can create them if you want for future reference or for getting code off the Discord and stuff. That's fine. It can help you in the future. I can make another video on that in the future, but just for now, we're going to use this folder called Resource Swapper. Then once you have that folder made, go into that folder. You're going to create a folder called Files. Then go into that folder, create a folder called Assets. I know this looks long, but we're getting there. Okay, now here's where the fun part is. So you have this insanely long list of just long number folders that just keep going and going and going. So what you can do is if you have this, if you don't have these long number folders, you can get them from my website. But I will probably leave a link to a zip file with all of these in here, so you can practice modding for your first time. So what you're gonna do is search in here, and let's search for wall, just WALL, and then let's click on this to highlight it in File Explorer here. Then right click, and I think my UI looks a little bit different than everybody else's, but basically you want to open file location. However you do that, open file location. Now you've got the big long path here with it. So what we're going to do is just for the first easy mod, all we're going to do is double click on the picture to open it in your like Photos app, and then just click edit, and we're going to do adjustment and just turn the saturation all the way down, just so it's very obvious we've changed the picture. And then click save and save, exit out, and then we're going to reload. So now you've changed this picture. When we load the game up, this should look different. So let's try that real quick. Now, if you don't have all those folders and files that I was talking about earlier like this, don't worry, I'm going to get to that in a second. But let's just load the game up real quick and see if it's worked. Let's go here, start a CR match. Yep, there we go. So these are now in gray and black and white. So that's basically your first mod. That's literally all you had to do. If you had the files, if you have the files here, like you downloaded them from my zip file or from my website that I've made, then you're good to go. You can make a black and white mod if you want, just by changing every texture to black and white. But I think most people would generally want to do more than that. So I can show you what you can do. You can actually add your own custom texture. So let's get rid of this. Let's go to go to my great repository of random crap. Let's go to one of my mods I've made. Let's go here and add assets. No, my bad, actually. Assets are built. Here we go. So this is like my assets folder for a mod I made recently. We can put, let's use, this is a normal map, but we can just use it for now. Actually, no. We'll use something, we'll use this as the wall. So we're just gonna take this image, any image you have. Oh, actually, here's something important I realized. So this image is PNG, whereas this image is JPEG. You cannot mix and match. So if you put wall texture.png here, the game will not recognize it, and the wall will show up as whatever the wall is in the normal game. So let's look for an actual JPEG. So let's actually just search here to make it easier. JPEG. Okay, cool. So we have a nice standout texture here called stripes. So we can just click on this and then do Control-C to copy. And we'll click on our other tab, go here, and Control-V to paste. So now we have this new texture in our folder. So then we can click on this old one, click on it again to get the file name. We're going to copy the file name, and then we're going to delete the file, and then just put that new file name here. So then when we open the game, it should be replaced with that texture on the wall, because now what we've done is given a new texture to the game, but kept the same file name, so the game still recognizes that that is the texture it's supposed to wrap around that particular model of the game. Yep, perfect. Now it looks horrendous, but it's, for demonstrational purposes. So this is another thing you can do, is you don't have to just change the actual texture that the game came with, or the zip file came with. You can actually add all of your own textures, anything you want, which is really, really cool. So the next thing you can do is change PNG files. So there are actually a lot of PNG files in here. So we go PNG, and there's way more PNG files than there are JPEG files. And PNG files have this cool thing, I don't know what it's called, but basically where you can have part of the file be transparent, and it's called an alpha. So on things like this here, see how there's really no square around the image, it's just the emoji? That's because all of this is transparent here. So that's the cool thing about PNG. So you can replace PNGs, make sure it's just the same name with the same extension, but you can put whatever picture you want here. So yeah, that's really how you would change things if you have this, this resource swapper folder, then you go into files, assets, and all of your long number folders here. However, if you do not have these long number folders and you haven't gone to the description yet or anything like that and downloaded the zip file or gone to my website, I'll actually show you real quickly here. Let me just open this up. This is my main website, and I have a lot of different stuff on here. I'd love it if you'd check it out. I'm going to put the link in the description because I spent a lot of hard work on this, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's got a dark mode and everything. It's kind of cool. And I also have pre-made mods here if you want to check. All of these are finished mods. You can just apply, and I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. But you want to go to this first button here, modding repository, and you're just gonna click in the search bar, and whatever you want to replace. So we did wall. You can type in and it'll find it. So we have this is the one we just replaced, wall texture.jpg. But you can do other things like floor. We saw this texture earlier on the ceiling and the ground of where we were standing when we spawned in earlier. So you can replace this one. This one is this one's tundra, and this one is bulb or something like that. And then so you can clear search and everything. And then there's this helpful button here called download all as zip. So you click on that, and it will start downloading all of these to memory. And then after it's done downloading them, it'll start compressing them and put them into a zip file. Which you can see here. Yeah, there we go. Now it's compressing. See here. It should take 5 minutes. There's a lot of files, so give it some grace because there's 1,800 or some files, I think. But I'm just gonna quit that because we don't want that. So you can use this to find anything, literally any of the textures or sound files. I'm not gonna go over sound files because it's the exact same process to mod or change a sound file as it is to replace a picture but you can find anything. So if you search MP3, the MP3 like the MP3 files will come up, so we can go here and like look for a certain sound, you know. And so you can search for let's look for PNG, and that should come up if we click search. Oh no, oh I forgot, this isn't beta, sorry. And so after that, then you can just click on whatever texture you want to download, and you can click copy the folder, which will copy the folder number, and you can click download here, and it'll just put it into your downloads folder on your PC. So what you can do is say here, let's go get rid of every single one of these folders. We're just going to delete them. Give it a second here. Yeah, it has a lot of items. It's like 800 or so, yeah. All right, we'll skip that one. It's fine. It's trying. So what you can do is go here. You're going to pick a let's see. Let's pick a texture we want to replace. So floor. Let's do the one on Sierra. So we're going to copy folder. We're going to close this window. Let's put that over here. And we're going to go and new folder, because remember, this is where all the long folder is. We're going to paste that number in. And oh, give it a second. It might need to load here. There we go. Okay. So just ignore this file because it's open somewhere else, and we're not gonna worry about that. So it's actually our wall texture, which is kind of funny. So it's gonna stay there. But so this is the folder we just created with that number that we copied from the website. Right here, copy folder. Then we're gonna download this texture if you want to, so you can mod it, or we can add a different texture. So let's go to editing. Let's find a really like gross looking one for fun. Let's go to, where is it? Here we go. Find something really stupid looking. We could use my cupcake. So make sure we need to find a JPEG though, because it's a JPEG file. So yeah, let's use this one here. We're gonna copy, and then we're gonna go. Now remember, when we're inside this folder here, we need to have a folder called 1. So that's very important. The structure of this entire folder system is inside your documents. You have Venge Client, then you have Resource Swapper, Files, Assets, then whatever the long number folder is that corresponds with your file. Then you go into that, and you're going to make a new file and call folder, sorry, and call it 1. And this applies to every single long folder number. You'll see it has this one in here too. So make a folder called 1, then go into that folder, and then you can paste that picture into here. So we're going to go into a large view, and then we need to name it correctly. So we're going to go to the website, and it's called floor-low.jpg. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to click here and rename it. Let's make sure the name is correct, floor.low. Yep, there we go. Okay, so now this has been replaced. It is a 2K res picture, basically. So I've noticed something important that you should probably pay attention to when you're making mods is generally the resolution of the texture does not matter unless you're caring about performance. So if you're applying textures like this that have a decent amount of resolution to them, or like, sorry, not resolution, they have a decent amount of detail to them. This is a low quality one that I've messed up a bunch, which is why I'm using it for this video here. But if you're using a texture that has a lot of detail to it, then you definitely want to use something that's a little bit higher quality. I'd say at least 1K, which would be like 1024 by 1024, and 2K is a bit overkill, but that's fine. We can just use it for this. So if we replace this, let's open the game and see if it worked. If it didn't, I'm being stupid. We'll find out. And it should have replaced the ground here. Yep. Doesn't this look absolutely amazing? Doesn't this look absolutely amazing? So now we've replaced our floor. And see, we can replace, that means we can replace basically every texture with whatever we wanted. It really doesn't matter what we replace it with. So you can replace it with, something random like a picture of your dog or, that kind of thing. Something that is also fun that you can do is, say we wanted to make the floor just this color here. So we wanted to make it just this solid color here. What you could do is find the hex code of this color, or like match it closely if you could, like as close as possible, and then just go into Paint, Microsoft Paint, and let's say we're just gonna use red for this, and we're gonna go to red, and then we're gonna go to this little paint bucket thing and just fill the whole thing, and we're gonna go to File. Let me make sure this is full screen. File, then Image Properties, and to make sure it's the correct width and height. It doesn't really matter as long as it's within, a distance of the original file, unless you're trying to upscale it or make it, super performance light. But just make sure it's always square for most of the textures. There's a couple textures that shouldn't be square, but this should be square. So this is okay. It's 1024 by 1024. So we're going to save it, and then go to File, and then Save. And we're going to put it in here inside, my folder with this one, and we're going to name it. Oh, actually, my bad. We need to save it as a PNG. Or so as a JPEG. Here we go. There we go. So let's put it in here, in here, in here, assets, and then we're just going to make it for video.jpg. So now we have this file saved. We just made a new texture, so we can go to that location, grab the texture, which should be over here. Yeah, sweet. For video.jpg. So we can grab that, copy. We can replace it here. Let's grab that name, copy that, put it on the new one, and then when we open our game, the entire thing should be red, because we replaced that texture that's being wrapped around the 3D model. So let's test this one more time. Just doing a lot of repetitive action here to really get the process in. Yep, there we go. So now this is red, and it's just really easy to get the hang of once you actually like practice it. This is something you probably should do, like, with a lot of different textures, not just a couple of them. A lot of times people make mods so that you can, improve visibility and make it look fun. I'll show you an example of one of my mods at the end that you can download from my website. But yeah, there's just a lot of cool things you can do with this. So like I said, we only have 2 folders here now. But like I said, there's a crazy amount of them. You can get up to like 2,000, I think. And don't let that scare you. There's lots of ways you can make that a lot easier. But if you want to make a mod that's a lot larger and replaces a lot more textures than just like replacing one like this, what you definitely want to do is probably go and get that zip folder. I have it here. I'm going to extract this, and we're just going to actually let me delete this one. Yep, there we go. Get out of here. Extract. So this is the same zip file that I got from my website. I just pre-downloaded it for the video. And after it extracts, we're gonna just go into it and take the assets folder and put it back where we are modding. So we have assets and the assets again. So we're just gonna take this assets folder here, copy, and go back to our normal assets folder. See, we're inside our documents folder inside Venge now. So then we go to resource swapper, files, and then this is the assets folder with our modded stuff. So we're going to delete that one. Oh, I forgot. I can't do that right now because my computer's being stupid. Anyway, you can put stuff in there that allows you to mod this stuff here. And it allows you to just change basically everything. All right, let me just fix this here. All right, let me skip ahead real quick and we'll do something. Okay. Okay, there we go. Just had to delete a few random stray folders. Okay, so now that we've gone over some of the basics of like the folder structure, Venge client, and then your swapper and your files, your assets, and then your folders here with the one folder inside them, and then your picture. Just want to reiterate a few things. make sure that you always replace JPEG files with JPEG files, PNG files with PNG files, and MP3 files with MP3 files. Don't ever cross anything over or change them because the game will not recognize them. And then you're going to be left wondering, like, what did I do wrong? Which I've done a couple times with really big mods. So real quickly, I'm just going to explore one of the mods I've made here for you to see. So go back into Cream Mod. Let's go to my latest version, files, assets. So I've made all of these so we can search a wall. And something you'll notice that's interesting about this mod is these pictures look really tiny. And I've done that on purpose. So let's go to this our wall texture.jpg. Let's open file location, more options here. So you notice it looks really, really tiny. And that's because it is. It's actually like 2 pixels by 2 pixels wide. Yeah, right down here. So, and the reason I did this was to cut back on the performance loss, but it still takes those 2 pixels and just wraps it around the model. Even it's just a color value is all it is. Since there's no detail, I wasn't actually trying to add any detail to the wall. I just wanted to make the wall a solid color. And since you don't need a whole lot of data to just add one color, I just made the texture just 2 by 2 pixels, which you can do. So there's an option for you to do that as well. Or you can just keep the 1024 by 1024 thing, or whatever suits you. Any resolution in between. So that's something you can do. But like if I go to a different mod, let's go to something. Actually, I have a bit of a ugly looking mod. We could check out the charm mod, or I have a bit of a nicer looking mod, like a sketch mod that we could look out. Let's see, where's sketch mod? Is it in here still? I might not have it. Am I just tripping or something? Oh no, it's been right in front of my face the entire time. Here we go. So we can go to our sketch mod, and you can see in the files and assets I've replaced, search wall here, I have changed these textures. I've added my own, but with like a different styling. So you can see I've changed all the different textures here, and I've got like the floor ones are in a cool sketch theme, like the brick here is in a cool texture, and the floor tile. So just you can do a whole lot of creative stuff with this. Just it's not about pleasing people, it's about having fun. So if people don't like your mod, it doesn't matter, just have fun. It's supposed to just, look fun and be enjoyable. So I've gotten a little bit of hate from different mods that I've made, and you just gotta keep going. So yeah, you can, after you replace all those files, just make sure that you in your documents folder you have everything named correctly, and then it's called Venge Client. Sometimes I've made a mistake of like Venge Client v5, then the game won't recognize it. But what I can do is show you how to actually add a code file, which I know I said I wouldn't do at the beginning, but I will do once here, just for showing. So I'm actually gonna grab this file from, where is my, let's grab it from my, grab it from the gray mod here. So we're going to go and grab this JS file, which I will link all these files down in the description so you can grab them. And yeah, it won't be hard to implement them. I'll show you how. So any changes you make to the game while you're playing are generally going to be done like in lighting with a JavaScript file. So you're going to go into your Venge Client folder, and you're going to go to user script. So you're going to need this folder created. So make sure it's called user script, just exactly like this. Go into that, and you're going to paste the JavaScript file. It does not matter in this case. It really does not matter at all what the JavaScript file is called. So just don't worry about that. And then you're just going to make sure that you don't change the extension or anything like that. So then just open the game. And you'll notice, I believe with this particular JavaScript file, I have made everything super, super dark. So I've changed the exposure and everything for the game. And I think you'll see that as we load in. Yeah, so you see it's really, really dark right now. So you can do things like change the light box intensity or the exposure or the color or that kind of thing. And it's really cool for making like dark mods that you want to really, have good player visibility on. But I'm probably like blabbing on in this video, so I'm gonna definitely bring this to a close. If there's anything I didn't cover that I said I would, just tell me about it, and I can definitely make a new video. Um, but let's actually 1 second. Let me show you. Other thing. Okay, I've gotten a couple comments on this. If you really want to get into the coding before I make the video on it, I don't know if you would find this helpful or not. I think you might, but I have made a page that goes over a lot of the different like things you can do to change visibility and exposure and all that stuff. It's really detailed, and it should be fun to look over. You can copy the different elements and stuff to make your own JS files. This is CSS, which is for the main menu, which I can get to in a different video if I do make another one. And then there's a model and viewer page that I've made, so you can search for different stuff like that. Let's search for Lil. There we go. So we can have like the 3D model here. And I can show you, and this is all on my website, so make sure to check it out. But yeah, hopefully this video has been helpful. I really have worked hard to make this easier for people, so if you enjoy this video, definitely like it, and if you want to subscribe, that sounds great. If not, that's okay. I'd really also appreciate comments, because it takes just the same amount of time as talking to someone on Discord, because feedback is great. Any kind of feedback, I really appreciate it. So I hope to do another video in the near future, and that you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon, and hopefully maybe I'll see you in game. So yeah, see ya.